To New Agent 3 from Captain 3. Come meet me at Eco Forest Hills. I want to chat. You're not in trouble, I promise. And bring your weird dog. Huh? Oh. Hey. Hey. Hi. Oh, just come up here. I'll scoot over. I'm just admiring the view is all. Yeah, I'm sorry for not talking before. I mean, I can relate to you being quiet. It's like it's a nervousness thing. I mean, I've never been in a position of authority before, never been a captain, so it was my first big mission. I didn't want to mess it up, so yeah, I mean, despite being the captain, they still call me Captain 3. Because I used to be Agent 3. You know that, I used to be Agent 3. And then, once I stopped being Agent 3, then they had to get another Agent 3 in. If you ask me, though, it doesn't really make much sense. I mean, they skip numbers all the time, so why couldn't they have just left the number 3 alone instead of having 2 3s and make that super confusing? You know, what if I call you Neo? Like, the cool way to say something new. So like New 3, it's like Neo 3, like Neo. At least that way we won't get confused. Just between you and me. Cool. Cool. You know, it's really crazy how all of this was just underneath the Splatlands. I mean, I was reading those old documents that you were finding, the logs or whatever. It just so happened that a big hole in the ground was a great place to build a city. But, I mean, who could have guessed that a city like this would have held up so well for so long? Enough time for squids to come down here and explore it. Enough time for squids and octos to have, boss battles down here. And I mean, to be fair, it is honestly the nicest place I've been adventuring in. It is beautiful down here. Which, I mean, it makes you wonder about why the Splatlands are like that above when, everything is so sleek and, well, to be fair, in disrepair down here. The Splatlands is rather anarchistic. A far cry from the cool, peaceful underground human city that it was built on, or that was hidden underneath it. I mean, with such a futuristic city tucked underneath it, you would think that the Splatlands would have found this stuff sooner, and I don't know. I mean, not to diss the Splatlands. Honestly, ever since I moved here from Megapolis, I mean, following the cephalopod population after the Final Fest. I mean, between... Right, you've lived here. You never lived in Megapolis. Right. Well, I mean, Splatfests, right? Yeah, of course. Well, back in Inkopolis, they had this really big, big last one between, it was Pearl and Marina. Yeah, you know Pearl. You know Off the Hook. Yeah. My favorite of their songs is Ebb and Flow, personally. But the last Splatfest that they held in Inkopolis was Chaos versus Order. And you know how the Splatfest laws are, so... Chaos won by a very slim margin. And then all the cephalopods were like, oop, it's time to go nuts. And they all shipped out to the Splatlands where they could get chaotic all they wanted. Which, I mean, props to them. They decided what they wanted, they go and chase it. I mean, that's dedication. Can't go wrong with that. I mean, Splatsville is pretty cool. Don't tell anybody from Inkopolis, but I kind of like it way better than Inkopolis Square. I mean, there's only so many cool things you can do in a shiny, nice city. Seeing all the graffiti on the walls and all of the camaraderie, and I don't know how to describe it. It's something that you can't get very easily in a big fancy city. That tight-knit feeling, that community. I mean, for one, speaking of community, I have gotten really good at table turf. What, are you surprised that I played table turf? I mean, it's like a logic puzzle, right? And as a tactical leader, or whatever, as a captain, I guess I gotta be able to strategize and kind of like chessboard it out, so I suppose if you really wanted to, you could call it captain training, or whatever. Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at table turf, and every time I walk up to the little group where everyone plays, it's like I get that little gleam in my eye, like, oh, I'm gonna get you this time. Just because I'm good at table turf doesn't mean I'm the best at table turf. I still do lose frequently. And speaking of losing frequently, I'm still not good at competitive modes. I like to think I'm pretty good at turf war. And from what what, sorry, Agents 1 and 2 tell me. Your background check said that you were also really good at Turf War as well. And that you excelled in tower control, which, two pretty good things to have on a secret agent's resume, if you ask me. But anarchy mode. Like, I see a bunch of squids and octos in the lobby, like in droves headed to anarchy mode, and I am... I feel a little bad because, I'm the captain of the Squidbeak Splatoon, and I'm not good at splat zones. Like, that sounds a little ridiculous. Ugh. And speaking of ridiculous, since no one in Splatville knows you from Inkopolis, none of the stores recognize you and know to give you the good clothes. I walked in there, and they're like, no, go away, come back when you're fresher. Like, yeah, I just got here, but I know what I'm doing. Oh, you know what? At least Sheldon's here also. I know Sheldon. Sheldon, for a good long while, actually supplied the weapons for the new Squidbeak Splatoon. Though I'm not sure why he stopped. I think it's because we got all the weapons that we needed from him, and he was like, nope, I'm out, and then just went to run just his shop. And honestly, with all of the stuff that goes on, you cannot blame him for wanting to take a break from all the secret agent stuff. But Sheldon recognized me, and I had those golden ticket thingies, and I got my favorite weapon. I wasn't able to get it before because it was too expensive, but Sheldon gave me that discount. I adore using the Splatomatic. It is my favorite weapon of all time. It shoots in a straight line, and that is it. That's all I need. I've seen you using a lot of different weapons out there. That was really impressive. I especially like the one where you had the big stamper, and you just smushed the bowling ball guys. I mean, it looked like you were having a lot of fun out there. And it takes a lot of skill to be able to handle a lot of different weapons. Speaking of seeing you out there doing your agent stuff, it's almost weird to see a bunch of idols instead of being, oh, we're the good guys, we're gonna help you. It's honestly a little refreshing to see them as obstacles. Okay, maybe not refreshing for you, but it's refreshing. I mean, I've seen, over the past 4 or so years, 2 different sets of idol girls become secret agents and then fight the forces of evil. What was it? It was Shiver and Fry and the big manta ray, big man. I heard they only got their start as idols not super long ago through their Splatcast, but honestly, good for them. They do a really good job at telling the news. They do a really good job at informing you of what's going on, and they make it fun while doing it. That's exactly what you need in a news broadcaster. And the Splatcast format, genius. Yeah, I mean... No, you're right. They did team up with us at the end. So I guess they did end up fighting the forces of evil. Yeah, I mean, they said they wanted to do it Splatland style, so... I don't know, maybe that was Splatland style. Speaking of Splatlands, do you mind if I could, can I pet your salmonid? Oh, nice, okay. So, how do I, okay. I gotta hold, right, my hand out to smell, okay? So he smells it. And you said that if he gives it a little nibble, that's just him checking me out, okay. And, okay, after he smells, I flip over my hand, right? And then if he puts his head in my hand, I'm good to go. Okay. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. Oh my god, he's such a little guy. Right, no, literally, his name is Little Buddy. That is the perfect name. You cannot go wrong with something named Little Buddy. Oh my god, he is so cute. He is looking in 2 different directions at once and processing exactly 0% of the information he is gathering. Honestly, he's the best agent of us all. This is, hang on, little guy, can you just, yeah. Yeah, he's got the red tinting around his beak and his fins, and that happens only in spawning salmonids, which is when they're the most hostile. So it's for all intents and purposes, he should be hostile, but it's double incredible that he's so cute. Oh my god. Ugh. I mean, usually when you're doing a salmon run, these guys like him are biting the crap out of your ankles, and then they overwhelm you, and then, well, that's that. So, I mean, at least when you don't usually see these guys outside of salmon runs, so maybe it's just there, maybe they know? That is something we haven't quite figured out yet. Salmon run. I mean, all the things that happened, and it's still running. Usually when you've got a company, and you blast the CEO into space on a giant rocket, which he's planning on destroying the world with. Usually that will stop a company from functioning. But I suppose capitalism waits for no cephalopod. When you were exploring when you were exploring Alterna, and you were finding those, orca log thingies, I was not. I honestly, if you told me that the orca AI dude wasn't gonna be the big evil mastermind at the end, I would have told you that you were being ridiculous. That there was no way the AI that has been locked underground for, like, an insane amount of time did not turn evil, I would have told you you were crazy. But, I mean, I suppose I've had prior bad experiences with AI that have been abandoned for, many, many years. AI that have been built by humans and abandoned for many, many, many years. I must say I'm a little biased. Yeah, I wasn't expecting an actual mammal bear to be behind it, you know? Like, you know, like Mr. Grizz, it's like, oh, he's a grizzly bear, of course, but you assume that's a pseudonym, right? You assume that's something that he made up to sound cool, and because, well, historically, salmon used to have the ancient bear as a predator, so... like, it fits the motif, it fits the aesthetic of it all, right? But, no, I suppose not. I suppose it was very literal. It's fascinating to think about how, I mean, things changed from being warm-blooded, like a bear, to cold-blooded, like a cephalopod. I mean, I wonder how it looked like if you went back in time and went to see how all that came together. I mean, the orcologs say that it was ancient prehistoric cephalopods and other sea creatures that... what was it? That crystals are... the human brain crystals full of hopes and desires. Neo 3, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't think hopes and dreams crystals are an exact science. But I mean, if that exact science almost wiped out all aquatic life on Earth, I suppose you can't dismiss it. I'm super surprised that rocket still worked. Like, that thing's been sitting down here for how long? Like, crazy long. I mean, there's no rocket there now, but let's... this place is... yeah, the view is getting stale. I don't want it to get stale. Let's go explore the rocket facility. Let's go explore the space stuff. I've never been to space. That was really cool when you went to space. Come on, let's go. It's crazy to think that we were able to track cuttlefish's signal all the way up here. Which is... it's a testament to how well those communication devices are made. It's a testament to how well Craig Cuttlefish is made. I'm sorry about you having to save Agent 1 and 2's weird grandpa. I mean, right. He's got like the whole thing with the Octolings and like the Octarians, and you're an Octoling, and that was so awkward. I am so sorry. Honestly, like, it was super inappropriate for Agents 1 and 2 to ask you to save Craig Cuttlefish, but I mean, at the very least, you also saved the entire planet, so I guess you can't argue there. I'll follow you. You know this place better than I do. I mean, you're the one who crawled through it. I don't think we have anything new to worry about, so lead the way. You know, all this human stuff makes you think. Orca said that all of the Inklings and Octos and all the sea creatures, they were imbued with, what was it? Human ambition through the absorption of the memory crystals in the ceiling when they fell down into the water. Again, hopes and dream science. It's not exact to me. But I guess it's also a testament to how ambitious humans were. I mean, look at all this. They were able to build all this. And the whole city back there. Those huge buildings. And all the floaty stuff. And the ceiling. They were to build all this using only the resources that they had down here. I mean, for the metals, they would have had to, gather the ores, and they would have had to, refine the metals. There's so much technology, too, that takes an insane amount of work to build an AI smart enough to record stuff and make jokes and ask you to paint it, like build a self-portrait of it. Like, that's borderline sentient. Maybe that is sentient. I don't know. Again, not the biggest fan of sentient AI. But, I mean, it's a work of art is what it is. It's the indomitable human spirit. I guess it's only apt that they got defeated by their own ambition. And those ambitions are now, encoded into the Inkling and Octoling DNA through the hope crystals, the memory and ambition crystals. I could believe it. I believe it, honestly. Do you think that the specific wishes of specific humans went to specific cephalopods? Or was it like a general chutzpah of humanity bundled into those crystals? Or was it like extremely specific for extremely specific individuals? I think it'd be really funny if I had all the ambitions of some gal named like Amanda or something. Like a human Sona or whatever. Is that insensitive? I mean, I don't know. No humans are around to hear me make a joke on their behalf, so... No, really? Really? You think you would be named like Kyle? Come on, you can think of a better name. The humans had cool names too, I think, hopefully. Listen, anything that has like a name, like can have a name, undoubtedly has to have some good names. Unlike Kyle. I guess that's part of like the human ambition in the DNA thing. We all know that the name Kyle sucks. That's not crazy to think about. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad I'm a cephalopod. And I'm glad I'm a cephalopod and not a human. I mean, looking at all this crazy future tech stuff makes you wonder if it might have been cool to be a human. But no, I'm glad I'm a squid. Because now we have a chance to create our own insane disaster. I mean, I think we probably already did, didn't we? I mean, historically speaking, I would say any kind of war is a disaster. I mean, not only just the Great Turf War, but also, like, the new Squidbeak Splatoon being formed in order to stop more war from happening and fighting battles in the secret and in the dark. I would say that's a pretty big disaster, honestly. Truth be told, I didn't have the best time as an agent. I won't get into it now, but I mean, I got all these scars from somewhere, and half my face is blue, so I mean, there are hazards with the job, but it would have been a little nice if those hazards didn't occur to a 14-year-old. Yeah, thinking about it, I think we are plenty capable of making our own disasters. So we don't have to, at least we don't have to deal with humanity's latent disasters anymore. Just the ones that reside in the DNA for us to root out. But, I hesitate to believe in it, but I think that's all over now. I mean, we all saw you up there, and we saw Octavio, like DJ Octavio, at the last second, come and save you from certain doom. And then it was Octolings, and it was Inklings, and it was Salmonids, all working together like three species that have historically been butting heads. All working together to defeat a common enemy. I think usually the saying is the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but I mean, at this point, the enemy of my enemy is also my enemy, and my enemy is now my friend, and we're fighting the enemy. But I suppose that was too much of a mouthful for philosophers, so... And I feel like it'd be pretty awkward if we all started fighting again after saving the world together. I was never really down for fighting. I got good at it, but I was never excited for it. So I guess what I wanted to say to you was that I'm really glad you were able to come along and end it all. Stop the fighting. You know, save the world. I mean, secret agents can quote-unquote save the world as many times as they want, but it doesn't really mean much if you keep fighting afterwards. But I think you really did it. I think you really finished it. Thank you. Like, so much. I mean, who would have guessed it would have been a kid from the Splatlands, a couple of pop stars, a beat-up child soldier, some racist peepaw, and a salmon marine spirit god thing in space. I'm gonna pet your salmon again.